In episode 3, it is Belly's 16th birthday. She's had every birthday at Cousins, and it's always an awesome day for her. It's her favorite day of the year. But it's also a day where the boys have to treat her like a princess. So that's another reason that she enjoys it. All of them get her gifts, but this year there was one person who claims that they forgot, and it was Conrad. Everybody's really, really surprised by this, and Belly says, it's okay. It's not like I expected anything anyway. But the reality is, she did expect something. Because Belly's birthday was something that was tough to forget. Conrad, though, quickly makes an excuse on the fact that he has to go help out Cleveland with this sailing thing, so he heads out. In order to get the vibes back to being good, Jeremiah suggests that he and Belly go and practice driving before they have to pick up Taylor, because Taylor is coming into the area just for Belly's birthday later that day. And after the whole Conrad fiasco for the past 24 hours, Belly could certainly use the distraction, so she takes him up on the offer. During this driving lesson, he asks her if she's looking forward to Taylor coming in, and it just, by her reaction, doesn't seem like it. And she goes on to explain that Taylor is her best friend, but when Taylor's there, it's like Taylor is the front and center show, and Belly's reverted to a side character. Taylor's Batman, Belly becomes Robin. So she's not really looking forward to that. But yeah, she's looking forward to Taylor showing up. Later that day, they go to pick up Taylor, and Taylor gets off the bus with a bunch of happy birthday balloons, and any bad feeling that Belly might have had about her best friend showing up suddenly went away. In fact, the first thing that Taylor does is compliment Belly on how hot she looks. But she also immediately starts flirting with Jeremiah. Before they head home, they stop off to get ice cream. Taylor gives Belly her birthday gift, which is a bikini, and then she asks what the plan is that night for Belly's birthday. And Belly says, well, Susanna always plans the big lobster dinner. But the first thing that Taylor does is shut it down and say, no, we're not doing that. It's your 16th birthday. Where's the party at? Jeremiah suggests that maybe they go to Nicole's because she's having a party that night, and all Taylor needed to hear was party. But she does ask, well, who's Nicole? And Belly starts going into the fact that Nicole is her big sister for the Deb Ball. She's like her mentor, and how cool she is, and all the awesome things that she's already done. And Taylor, once again, is very dismissive of this and just says, oh, all right, let's go back to the house. As they were getting ice cream and picking up Taylor, Steven was busy having lunch with Shayla, where they discuss plans on what to wear for the debutante ball. And Steven is so whipped at this point that this girl could have him wear a potato sack and he'd be cool with it. Even after she suggests that they go to this swank boutique where they could get matching outfits. And when she shows him the idea that she was thinking of, and he sees a $4,000 price tag, he doesn't scoff at it because he doesn't want to lose her. But he also needs to figure out where he's getting $4,000 because the money he was going to make that summer, he planned to use to not have to live at home. After the lunch, though, he heads back to the house. He meets up with the girls, Jeremiah. They start having fun. They decide to play a game of chicken, but it gets interrupted when Nicole comes over with Conrad. Belly introduces Taylor to Nicole, but it's a little bit awkward, but she doesn't really think much of it. And then the foursomes start playing volleyball in the pool. And everybody seems to be having a really good time until Taylor smashes the ball and it hits Nicole right in the face. And the first thing that Belly does is apologize to Nicole and make sure that she's okay. It makes Taylor feel really awkward about the situation as Taylor claims that it was an accident and she didn't mean it. But her tone doesn't really add up to the words she's saying. The good thing is Nicole doesn't really seem fazed by it. She assures the group to just keep playing on. And Conrad escorts Nicole inside to check up on her, get her some ice, make sure she's not too hurt. Nicole, however, clearly wants to hook up with Conrad. Don't blame her. I mean, they're sitting on his bed. But he actually turns away from her. And maybe it was because he got a text message. But when he gets that text message and he reads it, he immediately tells Nicole, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And he does have a good excuse. He actually has been helping Cleveland with this sailing situation. But Cleveland is going on national TV to discuss his upcoming book. And he wanted Conrad to help him prep with that, just so he didn't sound like an idiot. The thing is, Conrad completely forgot. So Conrad flies out of the house to get to the bookstore in time to hopefully help out Cleveland, but unfortunately, he's too late. On his way into the bookstore, he does run by his mother and Laurel, and suddenly Laurel is seeing Cleveland in a whole new light because he's shaved. He's not looking so hipsterish. She did really enjoy his book. She flew through it in a day. They start talking about how maybe Cleveland could be her rebound after the divorce. After the two watch a little bit of the interview, they head back to the house to start prepping for Belly's lobster dinner. Conrad's actually helping with this. He's shucking corn. But as he's doing so, he's doing it outside. And Susanna and Laurel are working inside, and they start talking about just how weird Conrad has been really this entire time they've been there. And the fact that he forgot Belly's birthday is kind of a big deal. And Susanna says, yeah, he's been like this since April when him and his girlfriend broke up. And while Susanna does brush it off, she is concerned. Because she asks Laurel, do you think you can talk to him? Yeah, might open up to you more than his mom. So Laurel says, yeah, of course. Because after all, Laurel is like a second mom to him. A few seconds later, she heads outside. And Laurel really tries to get Conrad to open up. She tells him how he still means a lot to her, and he can talk to her about anything. But all he does is say thank you. Laurel doesn't give up, though. She tells him, you don't have to hold everything in all the time. And it seems like Conrad is about to open up to her, but she cuts him off and says, it's been a while since I was your age, but I do remember what it's like to get my heart broken. And Conrad, realizing that that's what she was referring to, just plays along with it and goes, oh, yeah, that sucks. Well, thanks. Laurel then heads inside to continue to prepare for this lobster dinner. And later that night, the dinner happens. The only surprise guest is Cam. And the boys try to break him. The boys try to make him feel awkward as hell. It starts with the fact that he's a vegetarian and Belly is not. Then it's embarrassing stories about Belly, but Cam is unflappable. After the dinner, all the kids head up to get ready to go out to Nicole's that night for the party. And Belly's a little nervous because the last party she went to did not go well and she kind of embarrassed herself. But Taylor, trying to make her feel better, reminds her that she was there for about 20 minutes. It does not count. And this time, Taylor will be there right by her side. A few minutes later, Taylor and Belly are picked up by Cam to head to the party where Stephen, Conrad, and Jeremiah arrived a little bit earlier. They're immediately greeted by Nicole, who gives Belly a big hug. And Nicole kind of whisks Belly away to go show Gigi and the rest of the debutante ball girls the flower crown that Susanna made them for the lobster dinner. They decided to wear them to the party. The thing is, it leaves Taylor alone in this house where she really doesn't know many people. So Taylor decides to go grab a drink and kind of wander about. Belly, though, is focused on the fact that Nicole was nice enough to get a bunch of cakes and throw her a mini birthday party. It was a super nice gesture for somebody that she doesn't really know all that well. A big topic of conversation with the debutante ball girls, though, is who's everybody asking to the ball. And Belly is planning on asking Cam later that night. A little while later, though, when the conversation between the debutante ball girls dies down, Belly does end up linking back up with Cam, and they're sitting on the couch. They're kind of just enjoying the ambiance when Jeremiah decides to grab the microphone and do a little impromptu karaoke to celebrate Belly's birthday. And he gets some background vocals from all the Deb girls. They all serenade her with Tell Me More from Grease. I think it's from Grease. Admittedly, I've never seen it. Anyway, Cam gets really into it. Jeremiah gets really into it. Everybody's enjoying it. And it's not like Belly isn't enjoying it. She just gets tired of it. So she walks around and go find Taylor. She starts going upstairs, looking in bedrooms. And eventually she finds a bedroom with Taylor's flower crown. But when she opens it even more, she is shocked to see that Taylor and Steven are hooking up. Belly is absolutely disgusted. Steven runs out of the room. He's shocked at his actions. After all, he really does like Shayla. And it leaves both Belly and Taylor to figure out the situation. And Taylor tells Belly, I'm sorry, it kind of just happened. But Belly isn't accepting that. She tries to remind Taylor that Steven is dating somebody he actually likes. But Taylor takes that as an insult, saying what, he couldn't like somebody like me? This sparks a giant argument between the two. You've got Taylor saying that she doesn't even know who Belly is anymore, and Belly saying that's because she's finally sticking up for herself and not doing the things that Taylor just wants to do. Belly feels like Taylor acted out to get back at her. That's the only reason she hooked up with Steven. And Taylor shoots back, that's not true at all. You play the victim, but you're actually extremely self-absorbed. I mean, we're best friends, and how did you not know I've had a crush on your brother forever? I mean, if you weren't so obsessed with Conrad. And Belly tries to get her to quiet down because she's worried about people hearing, but Taylor yells, who cares? There's more than one story happening here, but you don't seem to notice it. Belly, though, just shakes her head. She tells Taylor, I can't deal with this right now, and she leaves the room. She goes downstairs to find Cam, and he's playing beer pong with Jeremiah. I mean, they're tearing it up. But when Belly asks to leave, Cam says, yeah, sure, no problem. There is one thing, though, that's been on Cam's mind, so he asks Belly, are you into Jeremiah? And Belly, who's never been into Jeremiah, she's been into his brother, says, wait, are you talking about Conrad? And Cam says, wait, no, Jeremiah, I got a vibe from you guys. But Belly just brushes that aside and says, no, Jeremiah flirts with everybody. Belly then changes the topic because she's about to ask Cam to the dead ball, but she freezes, and she can't do it. He then drives her home to put an end to a very awkward, uncomfortable night. And when she gets up the next morning, Jeremiah's in the kitchen, and she still has yet to talk to Taylor. In fact, Taylor is upstairs at the moment packing to go back home, and Belly still has yet to say a word to her. She asks Jeremiah if it would be cool if they go on a muffin run, and he says, yeah, just go to Conrad's room and grab his car keys. He's not here right now. So Belly heads inside. She starts opening some drawers to try to find his keys, and while she does eventually find the keys, she finds something else. It's a necklace from Conrad, the infinity sign. This is clearly for Belly. It is clearly her birthday present. Conrad did not forget. It's a throwback to when Belly was a kid. Conrad was the one who taught Belly about the infinity sign. But since Conrad didn't actually give it to her yet, she just packs it up and puts it back in the drawer she found it in. She then heads downstairs, she throws Jeremiah the keys, and the two head off to go get muffins. But during the ride, she tells Jeremiah, I just don't get your brother this summer. Dude's been acting weird since I got here. And Jeremiah doesn't seem fazed by it. He says he's been acting weird for months. Just don't let it bother you. He tries to get the topic back to Cam and how he actually really likes Cam and he feels bad about trying to make things uncomfortable, but he's a really good guy. But Belly once again gets the conversation back to Conrad. And Jeremiah just laughs and says, last night you were obsessed with Cam and now you can't stop talking about Conrad. She realizes that he is right in this situation, so she starts asking about how his night went. And Jeremiah's bi, so that night he hooked up with a guy and things went really, really well. When they do arrive back at the house from the muffin run, it's time to go take Taylor to the bus. And still, Belly and Taylor aren't on speaking terms. So finally, Laurel steps in and tells Belly as they're waiting to watch Taylor get on the bus, would you go talk to her? She's your best friend. She came out here for you. So Belly reluctantly gets out of the car, and she says goodbye to Taylor. Taylor, though, does apologize for her actions the previous night. She tells Belly that what happened between her and Steven won't happen again. And Belly says, I'm not mad, I'm just weirded out. The two, though, do leave on good terms, and Belly gets back in the car. And her mom breaks it down for her pretty simply that boys are going to come and go, but best friends, they're going to last a lifetime. So you can't mess that up. In the end, you just don't know what the future's going to hold. Now that Belly has addressed the situation with Taylor, she needs to address it with Steven. And when she gets back to the house, she confronts him about what happened. And she does so in a joking way because in the end, as she told Taylor, she's not really mad at it. She's just more shocked. But she does think that what Steven's doing to Shayla is messed up because she can tell that Shayla really does like him. And Steven knows he messed up. But he says to Belly, I'm just kind of insecure about the situation. I feel like she's more into guys that were at the party last night, guys that really aren't like me. And because of that insecurity, he ended up hooking up with Taylor. But he doesn't plan on doing it anymore. Well, Belly and Steven were discussing the matter. When Laurel got back home, her and Susanna went to the beach. They were just kind of enjoying the night. And Laurel tells Susanna, last night I was doing some research on alternative therapies. But Susanna shuts it down. She says, Laurel, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going through chemo again. I know how much time I have left. And it's okay. I'm at peace with it. I'm going to tell the kids when we get back to Boston. I just want one last good summer in Cousins. Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry. It'll be up in a day or two.